Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Teairegriffin, and I am so excited to be here with you on tonight. So let me explain. I wanted to post a video last week, but I wanted to post it while the sun was out. I want my record days to be on Saturdays, but I went home for the weekend and I took my camera with me, but it wasn't like the vibe I was looking for. So that's why I have not posted. So right now, here I am. Let's go ahead and get into this video. So first and foremost, I want to let you know that my book is now available for pre-orders. You can go right now to the link in the description, linktr.ee, /teairegriffin, and you can order a copy of my book. Every pre-order will be signed already upon delivery. The books are $18. It is my baby. I'm finally finished, and if you need encouragement in any area of your life to finish what you have started, it took me maybe 2 years to write this book, and it's finally done, and you can finish whatever you have started because you have a finisher in you, and the finisher name is Jesus Christ. So if he was able to finish, you are able to finish as well. So I pray that that encourages you. If you started the book, go ahead and finish it. You can finish it. If you open the business, you will be successful. If you started a ministry, if you started a YouTube channel, whatever you have started, you can finish, and do not be discouraged. Just get back into it and keep writing because your assignment is for an appointed time. Okay, so with that being said, go pre-order the book. Description, link in the description. But secondly, I just wanted to share something with you really quickly. Hopefully this video is not long, like a power 5-minute video. Let's see, because I am a talker. So what I wanted to share with you. So my question to you is, you've already seen the link in the description, or the title. Who is your number one? That is a question that I really want you to ask yourself, because a lot of us are serving a lot of things, but we claim that God is our number one, but he's not being put first. He's not being prioritized. He's not centered in our life. Everything is more important than him. Who is your number one? So the way that the conversation got started, I'm not exactly sure, but I can definitely remember. You've seen my Power story. I told you a story before where God told me that I cannot watch Power anymore. And if you have not seen that, that link will also be in the description below. And basically God was like telling me every single day, every time I wanted to watch Power, every week when I was binging or watching TV in general, just binging, just sitting there and like going ham on television. At that time, I was also in a season of, wanting to be married. I was also in a season of desiring marriage. So God was speaking to me about what I was deciding to indulge my time in, as well as I was praying that God would send me my husband. And one day when I was watching TV, the Spirit of God said, "You want a husband, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "If your husband was to come home right now and tell you that you cannot watch this, or if he came home and always saw you unproductive, unambitious, lazy, and just always just not doing anything, how would that basically make you feel? Like, would you stop? Would you jump up? Would you get up and do what he's asking you to do? What would your response be?" And I was like, "Oh God, if my husband tells me that he doesn't want me to watch Power, or if he tells me that I'm doing too much of nothing, I'm gonna listen to him." And I really felt God said, "Oh, really? So you mean to tell me that you're going to honor a natural man over me? So you really mean to tell me that if he tells you to jump, you going to say how high?" But that was my interpretation just now. But he was like, "Are you telling me that you're going to honor a natural man over me?" And the question lingered, who is your God really? Who do you honor? Who do you obey? Who do you jump at the beck and call for? Who is your God? Who is the voice that's in your ear that you respond to, that you move quick for? Who is your God? Who is your number one? Now, what I personally like to do, if you follow my channel, is I am all about relationships, daddy, daughters, and dating. That's my thing. Know your daddy. You are the daughter, because once you know your daddy, you know who you are, and then you can date correctly. I sucked at dating. If you have not seen my video about my reintroduction, that will also be in the description below, okay? So I literally did not know how to date, and I sure wasn't dating biblically. I wasn't dating in the will of God and the promises of God. I was just out here doing me, and whatever I did, I made me happy. Well, I made him happy, and hopefully I made myself a little happy in the process, right? But I can distinctively remember giving my all to relationships. I can distinctively remember doing everything that this young man wanted me to do. I'm going to give you 3 examples, and I want you to look at your life and really assess, who is your God? Is God your God? Or is your relationship, your man, your girlfriend, your boo, your bae, your honey, is that your God? So one story is, when I was with my boyfriend at the time, nothing else mattered. Time was no object. We wasn't looking at the clock. We weren't saying, dang, I've been here for an hour. I've been here for 2. I've been here for 3. Literally, the clock was not something that we were paying attention to. We weren't looking at it. Where is the clock? Where is your phone? I don't even know. Like, nothing mattered when I was with him. Boyfriend. When I do this, I'm talking about boyfriend. And when I do this, I'm talking about God. Just for clarification. Because I was with him. It is so funny how when I was in the presence of my boyfriend, nothing else mattered. You could not pull me away from his presence. You couldn't take me out from where he was. I wanted to be with him every single moment of every single day, just in his face, in his room, in his presence, like wherever he was. I just wanted to be around that. You couldn't pull me away from it. But then when it comes to God, we're easily distracted. I'm sorry, go back. So daddy, daughters, and date. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I believe to build any relationship with God and with natural men, that it's the same thing. I honestly believe that it takes energy and effort and time and attention and intentionality to build a relationship with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And it takes that same amount of energy, time, attention, and intentionality to build a relationship with God. So that's how I'm going to compare this. And that's going to be like my teaching style and how I pretty much teach. Oh my God, it's been like 8 minutes. Okay. That's how I personally teach. So, I would spend so much time with this boyfriend that I would forget about time. However, when I'm in the presence of God, sometimes this word is for me too. I'm looking at my clock. Have I been here long enough? Or I'm looking at my clock like, dang, I got something else to do. When you're with the boyfriend, nothing is important in that moment. But when it comes to God, there's so much things that are important. Our lists come up when we're in the presence of God. What we have to do tomorrow comes up when we're in the presence of God. What we forgot to do today is what comes up when we're in the presence of God. What we need to eat. Everything is so important when we're with God. But when we're with our boyfriend, none of that matters. I would literally forget that I've been here for so long. But when it comes to the presence of God, we're trying so hard to get out of it. There's another story that I want to tell about this same boyfriend. I thought I found the one. I thought I found what I was always after. I thought I found the love of my life. Like, oh my God, he's everything to me. I thought I found that one. I was willing so much so to drive distances in order to make sure that we were together. What lengths are you willing to go to be with God? Right? So with the boyfriend, I would drive 3 hours away because I went to school in Spartanburg, South Carolina, USC Upstate. And I would drive from USC Upstate down to Charleston, pick him up on like a Thursday or Friday, drive back to school with him. Then on Sunday, drive back down to bring him home and drive back up to get back to school. I was willing to do whatever it took to be with him. I was willing to take risks to be with him. I remember my mom didn't know that I was sneaking home. I was sneaking also from Spartanburg. So at the same time of driving back and forth, I was also sneaking home to be with this young man. And I can remember I told his sister, who I was dating her brother, you can use my car, but you can't go anywhere where my mother is. Like, you can't go to North Charleston, Somerville, no place up. You can go West Ashley, you can go downtown, you can go anywhere else, but do not get me caught up when my mom sees my car out here. I was willing to take risk for my boyfriend. And on the flip side, when it comes to God asking us to take a step of faith, to leave everything behind for him, are you willing? Or when God tells you to do something, you're like, oh my God, I'm afraid. I can't do that. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm afraid. But when it came to that relationship, we were willing to risk it all. Nothing else mattered. I was willing to give up every single thing. I was willing to risk everything. I'm your ride or die. That's something that, a lot of women, I'm with you forever. We were more willing to do things for this man than for God. The third thing that I did was when it came to God, when it came to my relationship, he didn't want me to wear weave. I wasn't allowed to wear weave. Literally, I said aloud. I wasn't allowed to wear weave and I wasn't allowed to wear nails. He didn't like it. He didn't get no kickback from me. He didn't get no back talk. He didn't get no compromising, nothing. He said it, that's what it was. Who is your God? But as soon as God asks you to do something for him, we have to pray first. I don't know if that's God. God, that don't sound like you. God, you sure that's you? That's our response when it comes to him. But when a natural man asks us to do something, we run, jump, quick, hurry, like whatever you want. I'll do whatever. I do whatever you want. Now, I don't know if it's just you or was it just me, but I would do whatever it took to please my boyfriend. And then I think about it when it comes to my life. Am I willing to do whatever it takes to please God? Is God more? If you were willing to do so much for your relationships, how much more are you willing to give to God? And the thing about it is God never expects us to do more than what he would do, because there's a scripture in the Bible where God says, if your natural father knows to give good gifts to his children, how much more am I willing to do for you? How much more are you willing to do for God? How much more are you willing to give up for God? How much more? How much more willing are you willing to risk everything for God? I know a few people who risk things for God. The disciples. The disciples were willing to give up everything for God. Absolutely everything. They left mother, homes, children, careers, businesses, houses, cars. They were willing to give it all up for him. I remember being with boyfriends. You know what? I'm going to come back to that. Willing to give it all up for him. The woman with the alabaster box, she was willing to give over a year's worth of salary. She thought he was worth it. She was willing to break it over him. God, you're worthy of this. Is God worthy of your year's sacrifice? If God said, I don't want you to work for a year, you don't know where money's going to come from, are you willing to give that up to God? Are you willing to give God what's valuable to you, your treasure? Are you willing to give God your time, your energy, all of your love, your money, your ideas, your ambitions, your dreams, your wants, your need? Is he worthy of it all? And the thing about it is sometimes we are so afraid to give to God because we don't think there's going to be any return on our investment. With God, there is a guaranteed return. He says even with the seed, it'll come back 30, 60 fold, 30, 60, 100 fold. With God, he's a guarantee. It's a surety. It's a certainty. And it's nothing but the truth. So if you give it to him, there will be a return on your investment. If you decide not to give up your body and say, God, I'm going to wait for you, you're going to get the best relationship, the best husband that can be offered. If you're willing to say, I'm not going to take this career, I'm willing to turn down this opportunity in order to trust God. God will give you something that he'll open doors that no man can open, and he'll shut doors that no man can close. He'll open doors that no man can, he'll open doors that no man can close, and he'll close doors that no man can open on your behalf for you. Are you willing to say, God, I don't understand this, but I really feel like you're telling me not to do this? I mean, if you were willing to risk it for a boyfriend, how much more are you willing to give up for him? The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the one that knows all, the one that has all the answers. Now, I tell you this for me, I want to be more committed to God in my prayer time. I want to be so much more willing to spend, like I said, I want to be with my boyfriend every single day. Do I have that same desire to be with God every single day? Do I want to be in the presence of God every single day? I want to be with him every day. Am I willing to be with God every day, all day long? Is he worth that to me? Is he worth that to you? Who is your God? And I pray that this message convicts you, because it convicted me as I talked to my friend. I want to know, who is your number one? Can you really sing this song by Jonathan McReynolds, Make Room? But he says, Jesus, you're my number one. I can't get the melody right. But when you sing that song, is it really true? Is he really your number one? This is not the season where you can pencil God in, or you shouldn't want to pencil God in. You should want, not I need to spend time on word, or I need to pray. I want our response to be, God, I want to pray. I want to spend time with you. Not penciling him in, but, putting him at the center and penciling everything else around him. Make him the center of your life. That's that Matthew 6:33. If I seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, everything else will be added unto me. Who is your God? Who is your number one? Who has the throne of your heart? Who sits on it and directs your life and tell you what to do and tell you where to go? Who is the one that sits on your heart? Is it God? Is he your number one? Is he your priority? When you think about him and think about doing something else, is your thoughts, will this please you? Is your thoughts, he is my God. He is Lord. I can't do this. I can't go here. I don't even want to, because he is my God. Does that convict you when you think about it? Are there areas in your life where you're like, that is my God. Fame is my God. My career is my God. My desires, my ambitions, they're my God. My children, my future, my relationships, my husband, my boyfriend, are they your gods? Would you jump at the words or the requests of them more than you'll jump for God? And if you will, I want you to get back into a place where you can honestly say, God, you're my number one. And there's nothing that I desire more than you. There's no place I'd rather be than with you. I'm willing to do more for you than I've done for anybody else. Daily, and this is my transparency moment, daily I have to let God know, you are my number one over television, over sleep. If you're willing to work more than you spend time with God, that is your idol. That's who you expect to supply for you. That's who you expect to give you breath and to give you life. Is God not God? Who is it that is your God? Is it social media? Is that your God? Are you willing to give that everything in promise of a return of fame, or a return of likes, or a return of subscribers? YouTube ain't my God, because if nobody watches my video, I'll do it for the audience of one. If nobody but one hears it, this isn't for likes. I'm talking about a topic that many people in the world don't want to talk about. Who is your God? Who are you willing to honor above everybody else? Who are you willing to obey over everybody else? Whatever that thing is, that is your God. And if you have any other gods, I want you to know this is a sure promise. He will have no other gods above him. So either you're going to willingly give it up to God, or he's going to involuntarily take it, because he will have no other gods before him. So thank you for watching. I pray that that blessed you. That came about from a conversation I was having with a friend. And after the conversation, we were both so convicted. And I have pledged, not even pledged, but I want to let God know that he's my number one, not just with my mouth, but with my actions. So in everything that I do, God, you're my number one. And I'm not going to put anything above him. I'm not going to be willing to do so much for other things that I'm not willing to honor God, especially over no boyfriend. And the reason why a lot of us are still single is because we're willing to put it over him. You're praying to God to give you somebody just for you to make them your God. Is not going to come from him. And it wasn't until God started speaking to me about my husband after I said, God, if I never get married, I'll never stop serving you. Where is your heart? Are you serving God? Are you a Christian because of what he can give you out of his hands? Are you in it for what's in his hands, or are you in it for what's after his heart? I want to change it. Lord, help me to fall out of love with what's not from you. If it takes me away from you, God, I don't want it. You are my God. If it distracts me from you, I don't want it, because you are my God. You are my God. He is our God. He is our Yahweh. He is ours and we are his. Most definitely, most certainly. And he is the reward. He's really what we are after. Right? So I thank you guys for watching. Please, if you have not already, support me by purchasing my debut book, Tears of an Orphan Heart. Available right now for pre-orders. You can find the book in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. I pray that blessed you. And please put in the comment section, if you will, any other videos that you would like me to talk about. Number one, and then two, let me know if you're brave enough to admit it, to share with the world, because I want you to know that you're not the only one going through this. What has been keeping you from God? What has been your number one other than him? All right. So I love you guys and have an amazing night. Bye.